Well, hello, everyone. Faitine here. How you doing? It's Monday, January the 6th. It is 6:30 at night here. Rob has the kids at soccer, so I just had a little bit of a clear shot to hop on my camera here and just chat with you. It's been a big day. I got my Wake Up Canada mug right here. I don't know about you, but I drink coffee late at night. One of those. But today was a massive day. And to be honest, this moment feels a little bit reminiscent for me to 2015. I'll never forget the night when Justin Trudeau won, and there was the Liberal wave that swept across Canada. And so many people were just shocked that night. Nobody saw that level of a red wave coming. And I remember late that night just sitting in front of my computer and just doing a quick video to talk about the situation, asking the question, how do we respond? How do we respond in our hearts? And here we are, 2024, 9 years later. Justin Trudeau just this morning announcing his resignation after 9 years of being our prime minister. And what does this mean? What should the posture of our hearts be right now as those who love Canada? I know many of you who are watching this are also believers, those that consider yourself believers in Jesus and Yeshua. And, how do we respond in this moment? What do we do? What does it mean? And so we just sent out an email through our For My Canada list. And I know many of you on my Facebook page are actually not on that email list. And so I just wanted to read it because in the email, our team did a fantastic job with pointing out something that nobody, at least I haven't heard anybody in the mainstream media, is pointing out right now, which is actually a really, really critical dynamic that's happening in our nation right now surrounding all this. So I'm going to get to that. So please stick with me. And I do want to let you know, by the way, I am recording this. I'm going to post it as a live stream, and I will be interacting with you guys live during the posting of this pre-recorded video as a live stream. So if you have a question or a comment or just something that you want to weigh in on, do that in the comments right now. Please share this with your friends so that they can join the conversation as well. And let me know where you're from as well. Let me know where you're from across Canada. And if you're a person of prayer, let me know what your personal prayer request is for Canada right now, January the 6th, as we contemplate what has just happened. So first thing I want to say is this, and I've said it before on interviews and live streams, and that is that the greatest of these is love. And I know many of us across our nation are really disappointed in what has happened in Canada over the last 9 years on the level of different policy levels, both fiscally and socially. And, this is an opportunity. This is a moment to keep our love on. And let's not kick the prime minister while he's down, I guess, is kind of where I want to drive. And, even though I personally would raise my hand in the company of those who deeply, profoundly, passionately disagrees with a lot of what this current Liberal federal government has rolled out over the last years. Not everything, but most. I would say most of the high profile pieces of legislation. I had a hard time with a lot of the stuff, the censorship bills, just so much. Don't get me going here. But just to say that this is an opportunity for us to look forward, not to kick our prime minister while he's down. He lost his marriage while he was in political office. He's regularly cursed by Canadians, all, from sea to sea right now because of the profound damage of his policies and the very real human impact that it has had, that many of us have felt, businesses that have been impacted, debt. Oh my God, it's just so much, right? But this is an opportunity for us to take the high road, to pray for our prime minister right now as he continues to function in the next few months, and to pray for our nation at this very critical time and vulnerable time on many levels. Obviously, we've got the whole situation that's happening with President Trump. He will be stepping into his office on January the 20th, just a few days from now, and he is threatening our nation with 25% tariffs. that could have a very damaging or would have a very damaging impact on businesses from C to C and industry from C to C. So these are not light times. These are not inconsequential times. This is a very vulnerable, critical time in our nation. And so let's pray. Let's pray for Prime Minister Trudeau right now as he continues to navigate. Let's pray for the Liberal Party of Canada and just pray for the best political option possible that would come out of this upcoming leadership race for the future of our nation. And let's pray for Pierre Poilievre, Jagmeet Singh, Elizabeth May, all of the key players. Oh man, pray for our federal media. My goodness. Don't get me going on that one either, especially after what I personally went through this past year with just encountering media bias head on a regular. But anyway, let's pray for our nation of Canada right now at this very, very critical time. And let's choose love. Let's choose love for those that see things differently than we do. And let's choose to believe that, we will have much greater days ahead and that we will be able to recover from the damage of this past season that we have experienced as a nation. So I want to read now the communication that our amazing team just sent out. So please forgive me if my eyes are kind of shooting off to the side here so that I can read it. But I'm going to just read this because it was very well written and it will help me not be rambly. So this morning, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that he is resigning, and you can click here to watch this resignation speech. As a matter of fact, in the text part of this video, I will post this communication and the video to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's speech so that you can watch it for yourself if you want to. What does this mean practically for Canada? Let's drive into bottom lining this and stick with me because I'm going to talk about the one thing that I have heard nobody talking about today, which will have a massive, massive trajectory impact on the future of our nation and will impact all of us profoundly. So stick with me. I hope you're curious. So what does this mean practically for Canada, the resignation announcement this morning? Here are a few key bullet points. Number one, Justin Trudeau will remain prime minister until a new leader can be chosen by the Liberal Party. I've heard different pundits today saying that they're expecting the leadership race to last at least 60 days, maybe 90 days, but it's going to be somewhere in the 2 to 3 month range. And Justin Trudeau will continue to be the prime minister during that window of time. Parliament has been prorogued. What does proroguing mean? Prorogued, when the Parliament of Canada is prorogued, it basically means that it's paused and that there's basically a reset, a refresh button that is pushed. And Parliament will return on March 24th, 2025, in a few weeks from now. A Liberal leadership race will begin ASAP, and just watch Twitter if you're on it right now. It is going crazy with different ones that are conjecturing about who's going to be putting their names forward. And so, we'll keep you posted as well through the For My Canada updates in any significant way as well. So a Liberal leadership race will begin, but I already said that point. Okay. The next point is this leaves Canada, as I already alluded to, in a very weak position as President Trump takes office on the 20th of January, and he's been threatening 25% tariffs on Canadian goods. Sorry, I'm repeating myself here. And this would dramatically and negatively impact the Canadian economy. So let's be in prayer for our nation right now. This is the thing that I want to highlight, that I want to asterisk, that I want to, just bring out the bold print on that nobody's talking about, but I want to talk to you about right now because it matters and there's something that you need to do. The Conservative Party of Canada will likely now begin to fast track remaining candidate nominations so that the Conservative Party is in a ready position for a possible spring election. So, the election is going to be at some point in the next half a year for sure. But when Parliament comes back on the 24th of March, there is a successful vote of non-confidence that will trigger an election. So what that means is that all the parties are going to want to be locking in their candidates like this time tomorrow. The party that's going to have the biggest challenge on that one, obviously, is going to be the Liberal Party, because they're also in a leadership race. Their administration is going to be super locked up, but also there's going to be a huge amount of turnover within their team. But the Conservative Party of Canada, okay, I need to drive into this point, so stick with me here. Make a comment if you agree. Interact with me, like, share, and I will be reciprocating in the feed here. So I've highlighted this last bullet because other than the U.S. tariff threat, this will likely have the greatest impact on the future of Canada. What is this? That is the nomination process that will determine the candidates for the Conservative Party going forward. So in essence, Pierre Poilievre's team is being determined as we speak. Okay, so why does this matter so much if it's not already obvious? Well, bearing something very paranormal in politics, I'm just reading off of the email right now. The Honorable Pierre Poilievre will be the next Prime Minister of Canada. As a matter of fact, all of the polls right now, whether you look at Angus, whether you look at CBC Poll Tracker or any other major credible poll, they are all actually predicting a super majority for the Conservative Party of Canada. So that means a very, very comfortable majority that will probably have longevity, not just for the next government of Canada, but there's a good chance the Conservative Party will serve a few terms. So Pierre Poilievre will most likely be the next Prime Minister of Canada, barring something totally paranormal that none of us are predicting right now. So what that means is that his team is being chosen right now by the members of the party. Who are the members of the party? Everyday Canadians like you and I, those of you that are watching this live stream right now. So as I already mentioned, polling is currently showing the Conservative Party in a supermajority position. So that means that most of those who win the local Conservative nominations will be future members of Parliament, and most likely not just for one term, but possibly for a couple of terms. Translation: these members of Parliament, these future members of Parliament, will form the team that steers our government, steers our nation forward, possibly for the next decade. That's what we're talking about right now, that these candidates that are being locked in right now by the Conservative Party of Canada will form most likely the future government of Canada. They are going to put it this way, they are going to set the tone. These individuals are going to make up the team, set the temperature in the room around Pierre Poilievre, who will be the next Prime Minister of Canada. And all indications show, and from folks that I've talked to on the inside, they say that Pierre Poilievre is a collaborative leader. He's a strong leader, but he is a team player. So team is going to matter in the upcoming government of Canada. It always matters. So it's important that you are listening to this right now, because these nominations, as I already mentioned, are happening right now. Many of them are happening right now. Some of them have already happened, but they're being rolled out right now. And some of them are going to start to be fast-tracked across Canada. So who decides who a candidate is? Simple. It's the members of the party in that candidate's riding. So right here, I'm in St. John Kennebecasis. Whoever is an active member in the St. John Kennebecasis riding will have the power to cast a vote, determine who the next Conservative candidate is in this riding. And there is a good chance that that Conservative candidate will become the next member of Parliament. And that individual could be the next member of Parliament, perhaps sitting right next to Pierre Poilievre, for the foreseeable future, possibly years. So since the Conservative Party of Canada is most likely going to be the next government, sorry, again, I'm just reading here, so excuse my blah, blah, blah. The smartest thing that you could do if you are conservative minded, let me know if you are in the chat. If you are conservative minded and want to impact the future of our nation of Canada, the smartest thing you could do right now is to make sure that your federal Conservative Party of Canada membership is up to date. Then get ready to vote in your local nomination for your local candidate. Now, I do want to make a disclaimer here. Some of the nominations have already happened across Canada. Actually, more than half of them. I don't know the exact number. If I had to make a guess right now, I would say at least 2/3 of the nominations have probably already happened, or you have a situation where, like right next door to me here, I have, Rob Moore, who's been a member of parliament for quite some time, I think since the mid 2000s anyway. He will be running again, so there's not going to be a nomination, a race here in that riding, excuse me. But in my current riding, St. John Kennebecasis, there is going to be a nomination. That nomination has not yet happened yet. In some ridings across Canada, it has happened yet. So again, blah, 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 blah here. Get to the point. My point is just make sure you have an updated membership. Worst case scenario, memberships are only $15 if you're conservatively minded, I want to say. And so if you've got another party that you support, that you more resonate with, then get a membership in that party and participate in their process. But the point I'm trying to highlight here, asterisk, bold, underlined, italicized, is that because Pierre Poilievre will most likely be the next Canadian Prime Minister, these are extremely influential, extremely important nominations that are happening right now, and they're going to start to be fast-tracked. I can almost guarantee it. I don't have an insider view on this. It is just intuition, and hey, this ain't our first rodeo. So worst case scenario, you get a membership, it's $15, and you find out, oh dang, my nomination has already happened. Worst case scenario, that just means that you're now an active member of the local riding association, which isn't a bad thing. If that's the party that reflects your value, you should be active. And you will now be on the email list. So that means you are going to be invited to events when they happen. If Pierre Poilievre comes into your riding during the election, you're going to get an invite to the rally firsthand, most likely. And so worst case scenario, you spend $15 and find out the nomination has already happened, but you get looped in on communication. So that's not a bad thing. Best case scenario, you are in a situation like I am here in St. John Kennebecasis, where the nomination has not yet happened. And because your membership is active, is up to date in the party that aligns with the values that you have and the party that you want to bring your influence into, the party that will most likely form the future government of Canada for the foreseeable future, then you will, the good news is you will now be able to participate in that democratic process. It could be one of the most powerful $15 that you ever spend, unless of course you got your wife's wedding ring for $15, which I sure hope you didn't. But anyway, there are other ways that you can powerfully spend $15, but this is definitely a powerful way to spend $15. So just trying to keep your attention, guys. And so anyway, just do it. Just go for it. This will be your way to engage in the political process. And then what we will do is, as we find out about nominations that are happening, and as I find out about great candidates, I know a few of them already that are in nomination processes. There's a great candidate in Pickering, Brooklyn, for example, that I just heard about, several others, and I'm not going to try to roll them all out right now because there are just too many ridings. I won't be able to cover them all off the top of my head. But we will give you that information as it comes into our view. We'll be communicating that through our email list. And you can always email our office. And if we do have the information, we will do our best to serve you. I will say this, though, our team is pretty small. And, we're a small operation here on the For My Canada side, which is our kind of political advocacy side of our nonprofit work across the nation. So get that $15 membership today, and that will position you to be able to be powerful in casting your vote. And let me just see if I missed anything. Okay, if you want to know if the nomination for your riding has already taken place, one of the things that you can do is contact your local EDA president. If you don't know who that is, just give the Conservative Party a phone call. Their number is 1-866-808-8407. Again, that's 1-866-808-8407. And hopefully the person on the other side of the line will be able to look up the information on who you can be in contact with there at your local level. So if if you're also that person that you're sitting here thinking, I signed up to be a member of the party a couple years ago when Pierre and Leslyn and everybody, when the leadership race was happening, and I'm not sure if I got a 1-year membership or a 5-year membership. I can't really remember. Well, good news. Just go to the Conservative Party's website, conservative.ca, and there actually is a place there where you can check your membership status, and it will let you know. For example, I just went and checked mine and found out that I got a few more months left on mine, though I do need to renew pretty soon. I do have a few more months left on mine, so I'm good. You might be good too, but you can check out your membership status before you actually sign up. And so that is the action point that nobody else is talking about right now. And I just had to get on and say, don't miss this one. Just don't miss this one. Don't be that person that's like, dang, I didn't get my membership. I don't get to vote. And therefore I am not powerful in this moment. Your voice is powerful. Your vote is powerful. And being involved in the democratic process is extremely, extremely powerful. Many of you watching this know that I ran for office this past year here at the provincial level. Guys, I lost by 224 votes. Statistically, that's one more volunteer showing up in my race, and I would have been punted over the line. Now, I want to say this. I am actually glad that I've got free time right now so that I can engage here at the federal level. It's definitely a space I enjoy. And so, but just to say this, the numbers are small. Premier Higgs, he lost by 183 votes. When I ran the first time at the nomination level, it was an 86 vote spread. I have some good friends of mine that, have run and have either won or lost by as few as 9 votes, 12 votes. Like, these can be very, very, very small margins, particularly at the nomination level. In many of these nominations, it's only a few hundred people that actually participate. And so this really is the most powerful way to engage in the democratic process is at the nomination level. So I want to encourage you guys to just do it. Okay. So that might seem like a major tangent off of the, Justin Trudeau just resigned topic, which is like the huge topic of the day, but everything gets fast tracked as of literally today. Everything's getting fast tracked. The Liberal leadership race is getting fast tracked. All of these nominations are getting fast tracked. The intensity is going to get fast tracked. The political talk is going to be on steroids. Everything's going to ramp up, already is ramping up into 5th gear. And so I just wanted to make sure that I flag this to you all, because sometimes the most important things that we can do are not obvious. And all the buzz right now is going to be about Justin Trudeau and the resignation, which is, an important thing to be paying attention to. But in the meantime, all these nominations are where the real opportunity to impact, where the real power center actually is going to be in terms of influencing the future of our nation. So there you have it. There's the scoop. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're still watching. Please share this with your friends, your like-minded conservative friends, because it is very, very important that we engage. And then I just want to end again, kind of with where I started, and that's let's show compassion right now. I know many of us are very upset about the doubling of the federal debt, 4 carbon taxes, another one around the bend, like so much that has happened. And there's a lot to chew on in our hearts. And, we're all going to have opportunities to forgive and dig in and push forward and rebuild our economy, rebuild all the areas that need to be rebuilt, restore, freedom of speech and all the things that have been torn down by different legislative agendas that have been moved forward. And there's going to be a lot of rebuilding to do, but we also need to heal. And please, if you are a person of prayer, please join me in praying for our Prime Minister right now, praying for his family, praying for his kids, praying for the caucus, praying for our conservative team as well, praying for Jagmeet Singh. Everybody needs prayer. And let's also just pray for our nation in general, that we would make decisions, as we vote, as we engage, as we make decisions at the political democratic level in the days ahead, that we as a collective will make decisions for our nation that will lead to health and prosperity and freedom for ourselves and for our kids. And that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for future generations. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. I know it's been a long one, 25 minutes, but hey, if you can watch Trump for 3 hours, then, maybe you can watch Fate for 25 minutes. I don't know, maybe not. Not comparing myself in any way to Trump, but just to say we are, I trust that those who care are sticking with me here right to the end. So thank you so much for watching. And if you ever have a question about anything, just email our team. And like I said, we are small, but we are mighty and we are committed, and we are here to serve you. Thanks so much for those of you that support us. Thank you so much for those of you that donate so that we can just keep at it, keep in the ring. And hey, at the end of all this, just want to say, bless you, bless your families. I hope you have I've had a wonderful start to 2025, and let's believe together that it will be the best year that we've had in a long time. We are due for a good one. So love you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon.